What's up, guys? My name is Doe, and recently, pretty much yesterday, I made the mistake of talking about a national treasure to slayers everywhere, and that's Iceborne. I talked schmack about Iceborne, and I realize now that I was wrong for doing that, and I apologize. But because the servers for Dauntless are down, I thought I'd read some comments in that video, which, by the way, I do appreciate the folks that took the time to write comments, to write their ideas and their opinions on the matter, and it was helpful. It helped me see that there's a pretty big point to be seen from the people that don't have as much time to play the game as someone like I do, like someone like me. Like, I play the game for a living pretty much. So people that don't do that, they don't have enough time, and Escalation in itself isn't a elite mode. So there's that too. But I do want to talk about some of the comments I got and some of the ideas people had, because some of them were really smart and other ones were really misguided. To get into to get started, the first comment is, OhDough, I normally agree with you on most topics as it pertains to Dauntless. However, I'm of the opinion that your feelings on Iceborne are way off base here. You could run a build with +6 Iceborne, +6 tough, and with the Scarred weapon for the constant shields for an overhaul of defense, and yet, even with all that defense, you can still get one-shot in Escalation. You can't. You can and you can't. So you can if you don't have a high enough power boost. Power boost is from doing Escalation, you get talent points, and you unlock power boost levels. At power boost level 3, at round 4 as well, or on round 5, you get 60% extra damage and 60% damage reduction. If you have all that, and you have tough, Iceborne, and you have Scarred weapons, you will not die. I'm pretty sure, because I went in there with tough, and I also had Pact of Vitality, and having a Power Boost 3, I had 1700 health. So with all that stuff, I only took 1500 damage from the Malkarian Eat and Eat. So that move does a lot of damage, but that's like the only real one-shot in the mode. Everything else shouldn't one-shot you if you have high enough gear level and you have power boosts. So you're right and you're wrong. But the cell's not broken in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so riddle me this. You have Iceborne, right? Iceborne gives you lifesteal and it also gives you damage reduction. On the other hand, you have cells like Tough, which gives you extra health and it gives you increased healing. But the increased healing has to come from other sources. You have Kosher Lantern, which gives you lifesteal and it gives you mobility, but it's on a timer. Like the lifesteal's on a timer and the mobility is on a lantern generation, hold the cast. You have Healing tonics, they're a strict resource. You only have so many. You have the Aether Vent, you only have so many uses of that too. Iceborne is the only thing that's just constantly active, and it gives you damage reduction and lifesteal. Is that not broken? I don't know. You be the judge. Iceborne puts the player at a disadvantage from the start. At its core, Iceborne is a lifesteal cell. Okay, so I want to talk about this disadvantage thing. How does Iceborne put you at a disadvantage from the start? Like, I get that if you're using a defense cell, you are swapping it out for extra damage, but where is the disadvantage outside of that? Because that's a very small disadvantage, right? It's like, okay, I'm swapping out a little bit of damage, but I'm getting a ton of survivability. So I'd rather survive the hunt than, maybe do it quicker and, have the chance of not doing it correctly. So I'm really not sure where the disadvantage is of having the cell. Like, if you're using Discipline, if you're using Berserker, then sure, there's a disadvantage, but there's also a benefit. It's called a trade-off. For Iceborne, there isn't really a big trade-off. There isn't a big enough trade-off, rather, in some cases, or in most cases, actually. And the only modes that Iceborne doesn't really work in is Heroic Plus or in Trials. Those two modes, it doesn't work that well in. In normal Trials, though, god dang. In normal Trials, though, it does work pretty well. And, there's one more thing this person said that was kind of strange to me, at least. Like, they're talking about how they don't like strikers, but they know people who do like strikers, and just because they don't like them, they shouldn't be removed. I never said to remove Iceborne, and like, it's not a good way of thinking to be like, oh, if you don't like something, it should get removed. And I never said that, because in most cases, you don't have to remove something. You can just nerf it. That's what a lot of games do. If something is broken, if you can nerf it, you will. If you can't nerf it, then obviously you just vault it. You're just like, okay, this isn't going to work out, we'll just vault it. In Dauntless' case, I think that nothing has been vaulted that I can think of, except for bugs that they couldn't fix in time, so they like vaulted it to fix it instead. Actually, I'm not sure that happened, but it should have happened with God Hand, I think. Now, I never said to remove Iceborne. That was never discussed, I don't think. I just said we should like change how it works. AKA, you know, nerfing it or changing it. But the next comment is, I see all, and by the way, before I read the comments or any more comments, I'm not roasting these people, I'm not being mean to these people, I'm just reading comments. And I do appreciate people taking the time to leave comments like this, because it did help me see things a bit differently, so I did appreciate that. Or I do appreciate that. Man, my voice is messed up, dude. What is happening? Really annoying. But I see all this hate on Iceborne, all the dang time, okay, keeping it Christian, 100. And no hate at all on Predator, which I find funny. The two skills define the entire meta for this game, with the nutshell being you're using one, the other, or are considering a noob/troll by a good chunk of the community. Actually, no. Because in Escalation, Predator kind of sucks. Because there's a lot of times where you're going to get hit and you can't really help it. If you're playing Chainblades, you can do a pretty good job of not getting hit for the most part, but there are still a lot of cases where you'll get hit depending on the matchup of dual behemoths. But Predator and Iceborne are not the same thing. They're just not. Like, yes, they're both good, but one is a defense cell that doesn't really have strict requirements, doesn't really expect you to play the best, and in fact is meant to help people that either want help or that are learning the game, right? So like, I'll use Iceborne too, I'll be honest. Like if I want to just bot out and like not focus super hard, I'll use Iceborne. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I found it funny that it nullified a lot of other things. That's my main point. But it's not comparable to Predator, because Predator makes it to where if you get hit, you lose the damage boost. Like, how is that comparable to Iceborne, where Iceborne's like, oh, if you get hit, it's fine, you have damage reduction, and you also have lifesteal. Like, the two aren't the same. Yes, they're both good, but that doesn't make them the same thing. It just doesn't. And they talk about, like, the differences and whatnot, but in one case, you have Iceborne. Iceborne is the only defense cell you have to bring. In Predator's case, you want to bring more than just Predator. You want to have Overpower, Pred, in some cases Berserker, or, you know, Rage Hunter, Rage. Like, you want to have more than just Pred. In Iceborne's case, that's all you need. That's kind of like the thing there. I think this was the comment I was talking about earlier, but anyway. The next comment is, while I agree that Iceborne is pretty busted, I also believe for some players it is nearly mandatory, at least until they're good enough to dodge behemoths and use things other than Iceborne. I typically use it when I use hammers, swords, sometimes axes, and warpikes. Not so much chainblades or repeaters though. Mostly because chainblades is the only weapon in the game that has a dodge that feels actually good. True. All the other weapons do the same old dodge and it feels very, very clunky. Like I rolled through the claw swipe, but I still got hit. That's because there's multiple hitboxes, which is annoying, and they've changed a couple of them. And I think that the problem there isn't so much like dodging through an attack you still get hit. It's more so that you don't have enough stamina. You don't have enough stamina to keep dodging. Like if a behemoth does a two-part attack, and that two-part attack doesn't give you enough time to regen stamina to dodge again, it's just kind of lame. But I see what you mean though. And like Chainblades do have a really nice mechanic going for them, which is that you can dodge without having stamina consistently, and that's nice. It keeps the combat flow really high. It keeps the APMs really high. It makes the game really fast-paced. My voice is seriously scuffed right now. And I get skill-based, I get the skill-based thing, but it's really annoying when the timing can be so tight. It doesn't help that the remedies to these issues are either Iceborne or mobility cells, which are by far the worst thing to use ever, other than conditioning. This person, I agree with a lot. I agree with this person a lot. And I do, like I said in the video I made yesterday, I really wish that they would make it so stamina wasn't such like a joke. Like stamina wasn't just like a haha, you don't have this. Especially if you're playing Warpike or Axe, like you never have stamina unless you have conditioning, which even then, it doesn't really solve the issue. So I wish that they would change that, and they would give more weapons the ability to iframe attacks, or to, you know, to resolve them with the axe and take less damage without having to use stamina. That's what I want. Like in a perfect world, more weapons have that kind of thing going for them, because Chainblades and Twin Suns are, and the sword with Avenging Overdrive are 3 weapons that have the ability to dodge without using stamina, and that's cool. It keeps the flow of the game very fast, and it just makes it really entertaining for someone like me. It's really fast paced. And then the last comment that I want to read is Gido. This person's kind of snarky at the start, but it's cool. It's cool. I respect their comment. Judo, looks like the community has the opposite opinion of Iceborne than you. You think everyone's wrong. First thing I want to say, have you guys ever had a test? Have you ever had a test in school and like the teacher reviews said test after everyone takes it for the whole class? So like, okay, class, listen here. Some of y'all is duller than a bunch of doorknobs, okay? You're just not very smart. And like he talks about like the questions and like all the answers to a multiple choice test. And it's like 75% of y'all gamers got this thing wrong. In that case, the majority was wrong. You know what I mean? So just because like the majority has an idea doesn't necessarily mean they're right. In this case though, in this case, I will say that there's a point to be made on both sides. Like on the opposing side, there's the point that Iceborne is very helpful to the player base. It's very healthy for the player base. Not that it makes them like really learn the game too much, but it keeps them playing. And that's really important. Like if I had to choose between either keeping Iceborne, which I wouldn't get rid of it, but like keeping Iceborne exactly how it is rather, or changing it and having players leave, I would keep it exactly the way it is. Because I would rather folks play the game and enjoy the game than have it be like more difficult and more get goody. Because I don't expect everyone to get good. You know, my main thing still, and I have a really hard time explaining this like really thoroughly. My thing with Iceborne and Escalation is that it just makes the mode super easy. And the problem I have with that is that from doing Escalation, you get like, you know, legendary weapons, you get ultra armor, and it's just like if you can use Iceborne to get all these things, it sort of just makes it to where it's less of a achievement to me personally. I guess that's my thing. Like there's no real challenge then, because I did Escalation for the most part. Like I on the test server I got to level 22 I think without like anything. And then on the live server, I got to like level 20 again without using Iceborne. And like once I used Iceborne, I was like, wow, this is ridiculously easy. So I think that's my stance. Is like it's just kind of like lame to me how much easier it makes it overall. It makes the challenge non-existent to me personally. But then again, I play the game a lot, so it's like a different perspective. But just because you don't like it doesn't mean it needs to be gone or nerfed. Like I said, man, like a lot of the veteran players have like the same feelings towards Iceborne, but those are veteran players, so it's different perspectives. Just because you can play without it doesn't mean noobs and casuals don't need it. Kinda, I can see that. In fact, I've run into many noobs that watch your channel and refuse to play with Iceborne until they learn the game. Yeah, and guess who gets to carry them while they are while they are all face down with their knob in the dirt. You can't do shite for DPS when you're dead. True, but okay. So this is where this comment gets kind of weird. It's like, are you saying? It's okay. So I'll read more because this comment gets like a little strange to me. I'm Behemoth level 49. I do most hunts with Iceborne now, but I used it for many weeks before. I could solo hands down. And then Han Solo. I legit have no idea what that means. I still use Iceborne for Shroud. That full is not easy to learn for me, but like all other beasts, it'll click for me one day. I used to rage quit, hate Rage Nasher. Rage quit, and hate Rage Nasher. Now I think Nasher is kind of fun to beat on. You getting it yet? What I'm getting is that you have to use Iceborne. That's not really like you're not like this isn't a good point. You're not really making a good point for yourself. You're saying like, oh, if you're not using Iceborne, then haha, like you're gonna die more. Which is yes, that's true. It's a very strong defense stuff. Anything, you're proving my point to an extent. Like you're not really proving your point. If people don't use Iceborne, then they don't have to use Iceborne. Just like people are saying, if I don't like Iceborne, I shouldn't use it. And they're right, kind of. Which I like Iceborne. Like Iceborne's good. I'm not saying Iceborne's bad. Like it's too good, is what I'm saying. That's my whole point. But you really need to tell noobs to use Iceborne until they learn the game, not let others do all the work while you AFK because you're dead and dumb. This is where it gets weird. It's like this person's basically saying like, oh, everyone should use Iceborne. Like all new players should use Iceborne. It's like Iceborne is a crutch, and there's no real way around that. It's a crutch. Is that a bad thing? Not exactly. Like, if you break your leg and you have crutches, do people look down on you for that? No. Like, it's not, like, no one's gonna be like, oh my god, nice crutches, nerd. No one says that. But it is what it is. It is what it is, though. It's like, okay, this person's got some stuff going on. And in the terms of Iceborne, if you're new to the game, if you're using Iceborne, that's fine. Even if you're like a veteran in the game, if you use Iceborne, that's also fine. Because if you know, if something's good, if something is strong, why not use it? Right? Like, it's not bugged. Iceborne's not bugged. It's just, it's not like an exploit. It's just really strong. So why not use it? Why not play with it? My thing was, my main thing, like I said, was just that it takes away some of the achievement that I was getting from the mode after realizing how much easier Iceborne made it. And that's all I was trying to get at. I just did not do a good job explaining that whatsoever in the last video. But hopefully you guys liked today's video. It was a little random, a little different. I just want to read the comments, and I do want to say again, I really appreciate everyone that wrote in the comments. I spent like a long time over the past few days, like just reading all the comments, because I used to do that a lot. I used to read the comments a lot, and recently, not recently, but like for a time, I just stopped doing that. And I'm doing it again just because I do appreciate the folks that take the time to read the comments, to watch the videos, and to just, you know, talk. So thank y'all for doing that. And thank y'all for the support. That's all I can really say. It means a lot, man. And that's the end of the video, guys. Thank y'all for watching. And if you guys liked it, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It does help out, and it just, you know, means a lot. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.